I'm Precious, one of the members of Team 3. For the Opportunity Project, my team and I decided to analyze Chime. Chime is a neobank founded in 2013 by Chris Britt and Ryan King, and it aims to change the way people think about banking. It believes banking services should be helpful, easy, and above all, free. They offer fee-free second chance banking for any American citizen above 18 years of age with a valid Social Security number living in the United States or the District of Columbia. If someone can't open a traditional bank account because they have marks against them, like a bad credit history, Chime lets them open an account without any fees. Chime tries to make the signing up process as easy as possible. When signing up for Chime, all users need is their first and last name, social security number, email, and a password. Once signed up and verified, users can sign up for a checking account, which comes with a free Visa debit card, a savings account, and can set up direct deposit. If users receive direct deposits of at least $200 each month, they can enroll in Chime's Spot Me service, which allows them to overdraw their account by up to $20 on debit card purchases. Also, Chime can choose to increase a user's Spot Me allowance to up to $200 or more based on the user's account history, direct deposit amounts and frequency, spending activity, and other factors. Chime's savings account offers a 0.50 annual percentage yield, or API, and like any other Chime service, does not charge any monthly fees or require a minimum balance. There's no cap on the amount of interest a user can earn. In fact, as long as you have at least a penny, you'll earn interest. In addition, Chime offers two optional programs to make saving easier: the Save When You Spend and the Save When You Get Paid feature. The Save When You Spend feature allows the user to save small amounts when making purchases. Whenever the Chime debit card is used, the transaction amount is rounded up to the nearest dollar and the difference is transferred to their savings account. For example, if a user were to spend $29.50 at the grocery store, the user would pay the store the amount from their debit card, and Chime would move 50 cents from their checking account to their savings account. The Save When You Get Paid feature allows users to set up a recurring transfer of 10% of their direct deposit paycheck of $500 or more from their checking account to their savings account each time they get paid. As for credit cards, users can enroll in Chime's Credit Builder card, which does not require a credit check to get started. Users can only apply for the Credit Builder card after receiving a qualifying direct deposit to their checking account. And Chime reports any credit card payments to all three major credit bureaus. Using Chime provides users with numerous benefits, including lack of overdraft fees, monthly fees, ATM fees, foreign transaction fees, and early access to paychecks up to 2 days earlier. So that's all for my section, so I'll hand it off to Alan.
Chime has positioned itself as a financial technology company that makes banking services are helpful, easy, and free. It doesn't charge overdraft fees, monthly service fees, or require account minimums. It makes its money through a variety of channels, with the majority of its revenue coming from the portion of transaction fees that Visa charges customers when using Chime debit cards. It also makes money by charging consumers a fee when they use ATMs outside of the Chime system, and it makes money through charging interest on the money it lends to other financial institutions. Chime is a challenger bank that hopes to disrupt the current system of banking, and this is reflected through its growth strategy. It plans on continuing to build its tech stack to give customers a positive user interface. And given that Chime is a neobank without physical branches, the user experience for Chime is almost entirely done through the company's app, maintaining up-to-date technology and a smooth user interface is essential for building and sustaining its user base. Chime hopes to draw in users by offering no-fee services. It also is able to take this approach because of the low-cost technology and no physical branches. Chime's plans for future development of its products are based on its four core elements of financial health: spending habits, saving habits, credit management, and investment strategies. Chime hopes these different facets of its approach will make it the consumer's first choice for its primary checking account. And when analyzing customer reviews, Chime has a pretty high overall consumer sentiment. Looking at Glassdoor and other sites that take reviews from employees and users, Chime has generally an overall higher rating compared to big traditional banks such as Bank of America and Wells Fargo.
Hello, my name is Joe Sayers, and my focus for the Opportunity Project has been to get to know the management team at Chime a bit more, in addition to learning about the company's culture. The management team includes Chime founders Chris Britt, who is the CEO, and Ryan King, the CTO. As we heard earlier, Chime is a free mobile banking service that provides banking through the Bancorp Bank and Stride Bank. Chime is appealing for its people-first, tech-driven approach to banking that doesn't include hidden fees. Chime earns revenue through interchange fees, which are fees paid between banks for acceptance of card bank transactions. Chime was founded in 2013 in San Francisco by Chris and Ryan as an alternative to traditional banking to create financial peace of mind for their customers. The company was launched publicly on the Dr. Phil Show on April 5th, 2014. For both founders, this was indeed their first company that they founded while they developed their experience at other companies. CEO Chris Britt started his career as a strategy consultant and later in a business development role in the late 1990s. From there, Chris took on an executive role in the financial services division of ComScore Networks before moving on to Visa as a senior product leader. Before forming Chime in 2013, he was at Green Dot Corp for nearly 5 years, where he grew from its chief product officer to SVP of corporate development. CTO Ryan King started his career as an engineer, and while working at company Plaxco for 8 years, he progressed from being an engineer to lead engineer, VP of engineering, and finally to COO, all within a 4.5-year time span. From there, Ryan took his experience to Comcast, where he worked 2 years as CTO and vice president before moving on to co-found Chime with Chris Britt. In addition to Chris and Ryan, Chime's management team consists of 12 other individuals, including standard roles like CMO, COO, and CFO, to in-house general counsel, SVP of people, SVP of technology and engineering, and a chief of staff. The management team at Chime found early on that leaders in the industry would be instrumental in providing validity to their brand, as well as to build trust as a new banking platform when most people are already familiar with traditional banking. This industry relationship is best reflected in Chime's relationship with Visa. Visa is a highly respected and trusted brand in the United States, and Chime management saw early on the value that Visa could bring to their business. While researching with the Visa team, they found that U.S. consumers were twice as likely to select a product with the Visa brand compared to other competitors. This matched very well with Chime's people-first approach and with Visa's wide acceptance. This would be very cohesive for the brands going forward. According to Chris Britt, CEO at Chime, he stated, having the Visa brand on your card instills a sense of trust that you're going to be taken care of. Visa represents worldwide acceptance and credibility, and that gave consumers the confidence to give Chime a try, end quote. Chime's culture is particularly important to them, and they are specific and intentional with the way in which they want their employees fairly treated and elevate everyone to the highest standard, as noted in Chime's company culture affirmation, which states, "We believe that creating a company where people love to work is built on relationships, growth, and impact. We cultivate a culture of low ego and set a high bar for excellence. We believe in flat organizations and open workspaces. We treat one another inside the company the same way we treat our members, by communicating in ways that build trust, operating with transparency, and having one another's back," end quote. Chime was certified as a great place to work in 2021, and Fortune listed Chime on their list of best places to work as well. During the certification process as a great place to work, 95% of Chime employees agreed that it was a great place to work. Employees surveyed feel that management is honest and ethical. In addition to these high qualities, employees enjoy that the company celebrates special events, and new employees are made to feel welcome and part of the team. As a comparison, Comparably.com has a mediocre engagement rating for Chime, while Glassdoor.com has a much higher favorability rating than Comparably.com. Diving into the differences could certainly be beneficial to understand the variance between the two. A red flag item could be noted from 2021 when Chime was in the news for suddenly closing customer accounts without notice. Customers stated that once their accounts were closed, that Chime would not return the money. According to Chime, this action was an effort to crack down on fraudulent deposits that were becoming a concern during the COVID 19 pandemic, in which they found that individuals were fraudulently depositing other people's stimulus checks that were being distributed during the pandemic. While this could certainly be a practical step to protect from fraud, the way in which the company handled this situation could be reviewed further. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Jonah Paul. I'm going to be talking a little bit about marketing of Chime. So Chime is one of the biggest virtual banks in the world. Chime has grown in size from less than $1 billion in revenue in 2018 to over $25 billion in 2021. 600 million of that is mostly through interchange fees. That's kind of how they operate. That's where they get most of their revenue from. They currently say that they have about 13 million customers, and 8 million of those use Chime as their primary bank. And since 2018, that's realized as a 31% year-over-year increase. Chime also has 35% share of all digital bank checking accounts. Next closest is Ally Bank with 9%, and they own close to 60% of total market share, which is a good bit. Chime is only available in the U.S. They don't really have any plans to launch in other countries as of now. They're really just trying to gain market share in the U.S., keep going with that. And as you know, if they get a solid footing, as they already have been, but if they continue to grow, they will then expand into other countries. 8 of U.S. consumers consider an online bank as their primary bank. 8% of U.S. consumers consider an online bank as their primary bank. So obviously that is a little bit of a challenge for Chime and the online banking industry as a whole. Most people still use brick and mortar banks, obviously, even if they're not going in person all the time. Like they're still using, all those brick and mortar banks have apps like Bank of America, Wells Fargo. Most of those that we use today still have that digital and online feature, but Chime is looking to cut into some of that market share. Among consumers with 2 accounts, digital banks have a 14% market share, and then 17% market share with consumers that had over 3 checking accounts. So Chime's major feature is called featurization, which promotes no transactions fees, consumers getting early access to their money, which includes 2-day early access to direct deposit checks, and then something they call Spot Me, which is if you're running low, you can overdraw without any overdraft fees. And then they also have it's called the credit builder credit card. About 15% of the customers currently have this. It's just a credit card that's run through the bank, such as a Venmo card. It kind of acts like that. So some of their big marketing tactics that they use is chiefly through their website design. They have multiple product types for multiple different accounts. They know consumers are choosing them for predominantly 1 or 2 product features that they offer. So they rank highly on Google for search engine keywords. So say you need free checking account, no fees, or overdraft, I don't want to have overdraft fees when I over withdraw. Those kind of things will pop up, and Chime has those integrated into their website design. So they'll pop up when people Google this. And they might not necessarily be looking for Chime, but they'll end up with it. They also have a high use of artificial intelligence. They use AI to create testing approaches to determine which marketing tactics to deploy. And I think that's definitely a big thing now, and it's going to continue to grow in today's day and age. And then just in terms of marketing spending, they spend about over $48 million in TV ads on an annualized basis, promoting their product far greater than their other competitors. So that's a big advantage because some of their competitors might not be able to afford that type of marketing, or even if they can't afford it, they haven't devoted as much money as Chime has to this. A couple challenges Chime faces. Just in terms of customer demographics, like I said earlier, they're just facing a lot of a lot of challenges from brick and mortar banks. Their demographics, in terms of demographics, 2/3 of Chime's customers are under the age of 40, so that's a big technology gap. And most of their users are less educated on average than those who use a brick and mortar bank. It's just because it's easier, so to speak. They need to generate and diversify revenue. Chime often relies too heavily on their interchange revenue, which means that they're kind of just internalizing that revenue. That that you're not getting actual revenue from those transactions. The rising cost of customer acquisition, as you know, like today's age, customer acquisition is always getting more expensive. Chime has to maintain their heavy marketing spend in order to continue to grow their customer base, even beyond that low to middle income consumer base. And these challenges are very similar to challenges mid-sized community banks and credit unions face, but it's actually the opposite in those industries cases because their customers are too old and not too young. And traditional banks are adding an average of 180% more mobile app users per month than digital banks over the past year. So they're really looking to cut into that as well. Thank you.
My name is Lucy Kendrick, and I'm doing the competitive analysis of the company Chime. So just a summarization of it, Chime is wanting to be the basis of banking services that is helpful, easy, and free. They don't want to profit from members. They want to profit with them, not from them. So they don't rely on things of like overdraft fees, monthly service fees, just regular service fees, a minimum balance requirement, and other things. So this way they are able to stay in with their customers and have that competitiveness with them by providing nothing, but by not providing fees and just multiple different kinds. They do partner with other regional banks. This creates a competitive market with them, but it's a lower cost option also to everyday Americans who aren't being served as well by traditional banks. So with this being like a fintech bank and being completely online, their goal is to help drive innovation, inclusion, and access across the industry and access to everyone. Their mission is what's stated on the website. Their mission is the reason for the creation is everyone deserves a financial peace of mind. They're building a new kind of online banking account which helps members get ahead by making and managing money easily. As they say, it's your money, your life, so chime in is what their slogan is. They're trying to create a culture that builds on relationships and growth and impacts. Like they want the team to be a great team as well. So just to start off with, or to go into with, just 8% of U.S. Consumers consider an online bank like Chime as their primary bank. Chime uses an approach called featurization as their competitive weapon compared to where other banks use a number of propositions, including rates and segmentation. With Chime using this approach, on the other hand, they're attracting customers in the low to middle income brackets with advertising of having no service fees, monthly service fees, overdrafts, and such more. Their main features in the company, they have three main features in the company that are the key to their success, and it's early access to their money, a feature they called Spot Me, and a credit builder credit card. Chime consumers said that they chose the fintech as their primary bank because it was offering two-day early access to their direct deposit paychecks, and also because Chime offered early access to government stimulations and tax refund checks. The Spot Me feature, lets Chime customers make a debit card purchase that will withdraw or will overdraw on their accounts, meaning that they would have a negative balance on their account with no overdraft fee. This allows customers to not have to worry about having the money in the exact moment, but also while Chime customers with the monthly direct deposits, the way they qualify for it is with a $500 or more eligible to enroll for this feature. So you have to create an income of $500 a month. According to Chime's website, it states that limit starts at $20 and can be increased up to $100 or more by Chime, and it bases it on its factors such as account activity and history. Excuse me. Chime's predominantly low to middle income consumers are not the reason they created this is for them not to be in the big credit card issues marketing effort. So they're trying to make it easier for them to be able to get one and to be able to have a good credit score compared to the bigger companies that are just relying on the credit cards. 15% of Chime's primary, or actually, sorry, 15% of Chime's primary banking customer base either has a card already with them or is on the wait list for them. And this is for the wait list. It's all in with they're trying to apply with it with all in 6 months of them launching the card that they activated. To get the card or to activate the account, to get the card, the consumer must have a Chime spending account and have to set up their direct deposit with the company, and they can't have it with another. They must have it with them and not another bank. So another way that they have a great competitive company is because of the marketing tactics that they use, and Jonah has mentioned those in the marketing section of our presentation, so I won't repeat any of that. But the company does face some challenges with how they decide to have their competitive analysis, and so that's where they're struggling to still come up with a solution for some of them. Their challenges include customer demographics, they need to generate diverse revenue, and the rising cost of customer acquisition. 2/3 of Chime's consumers are under the age of 40, and 15% have a college degree. Chime is also too heavily dependent on interchange revenue. For this company to continue to grow and expand, the customer base needs to be beyond the low and middle income customers. They will also need to maintain their heavy market spending. But those are the ways that I've come up with a competitive analysis for what Chime uses to keep their company growing and what they can work on. Thank you.